What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and there appears to be a little bit of a hullabaloo between EA's Respawn created Apex Legends and a indie developer for a game called Bulletville, which ironically sounds like some sort of Facebook or a mobile game, but they are alleging that Apex Legends ripped off one of their characters, and pretty blatantly so. And they've put together a significant amount of evidence, in their opinion, that Respawn lifted the character. Now, we're going to examine it and take a look. I wouldn't be surprised, but this via Paul Tassi at Forbes. Bulletville developer claims Apex Legends ripped off Fuse designs from them. Now, Fuse is a new character in Apex Legends. I'm not a big Apex Legends fan. Not because the game is neither good or bad, but because I'm only kind of recently getting into Battle Royales, and I don't even really like them that much. So it's not Apex Legends' fault, let me put it that way, why I haven't spent a lot of time playing it. But this via Paul saying this is a big of a strange one. Indie game dev Noah has reached out to me with a rather big claim that according to them, Respawn's Apex Legends has ripped off the design for a new hero, Fuse, going live on February 2nd from one of their own characters of their upcoming game called Bulletville. Its main hero, Hunter. By the way, in case you remember, smash that like button if you're around when I was the one that broke the story that Apex Legends was even a game. I was the first one to break that story. No big deal. They have a whole case to lay out, which they presented in a Word document, though a main point is that the side-by-side comparisons you can see above. Past that, Noah goes into a bullet point list of exactly what's similar between the two characters. Now, for me, they both look like derivatives of like a Borderlands 3 or Borderlands character in general. I don't know about this one. As much as I want to dunk on EA, Respawn's been okay. And I don't know. I mean, to me, this feels like a bit of a stretch. Different hairstyle. I mean, yeah, they both have the gray highlight there. That's one thing. But they have different facial hair. I mean, they both have an eye patch. So here's what they say. The eye patch, the biker attire, the skull belt. They both have a skull belt. A mechanical arm, a mustache, a belt of grenades, gloves, a necklace, a vest jacket with circular symbol on the back, leg holsters, a red-gray color scheme, and characteristic gray stripe of hair. Okay, I'm starting to come around. I didn't realize it was every little thing. So, yeah, they have the same belt. I mean, very similarly themed belt. The eye patch thing, obviously. The attire, to me, I guess you could argue that this is biker attire. The one on the right looks far more biker than the one on the left. But, I mean, the belt, the grenade belts, the necklace, these are, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things to be just a coincidence. Hunter has two weapons, a pistol and a rocket launcher. Fuse Ultimate is a rocket launcher. Okay, I'm coming around. They may have convinced me. Granted, in the landscape of hero-based games like this, you're going to see some similar designs over time. Yet something about this does jump out more than usual. Not just because the visual similarities, but also the fact that Noah says they worked with EA on a potential EA original deal in 2020 and gave them access to an early build, meaning they'd seen the game. Noah says that their contact at EA Originals, quote, didn't seem to think there was an issue, but they have not spoken to Respawn yet. I have reached out to Respawn PR to ask about this and will update if I hear back. While these kind of characters are in development for a long time, Noah pointed me towards the earliest public posting of Hunter's design from May 2019, which has all the same signature components, the eye patch, the mustache, the gray hair streak, and the mechanical arm. Oh, wait, he's got a mechanical arm too? Ah, okay, they did gank this. I'm convinced. I've convinced myself that they did gank this. Somebody did. Um, this isn't a good look. There is, of course, room to say it's a coincidence, but Noah clearly feels slighted in order to mount a public campaign like this. Bulletville isn't released yet, so they're not trying to drive sales. I'm definitely eager to see how EA and Respawn respond to this, and I will await the reply about the issue. For now, all we have are the comparison shots and the original info. It's clear similarities are present, but whether this is some big coincidence or something else remains to be seen. Yeah, and I do recommend following Paul, not on Twitter because his Twitter is generally full of political takes, but at least on Forbes, he generally does pretty good work. This is not a great look. And if I look at the tweet that he put it out, you see a lot of people saying, yeah, here, they both ripped off Borderlands. This sort of thing happens in the video game industry all the time. But this doesn't look great. This person says, to be honest, the design is pretty much a dime a dozen in anything that involves something futuristic or weapons. Now, a kangaroo with a missile-strapped ferrets in its pouch and chainsaw feet, now that's what I'm waiting to see. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe they feel like, hey, this is, I don't think the problem is here. The design is still pretty generic, a pretty generic futuristic cowboy type character. Is this character for Bulletville going to drive sales? No. If the game is any good or not, that's what's going to drive sales. So ultimately, I think it would be difficult to kind of prove damages in a case like this, but it's difficult to say. I don't know. You've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 specific similarities. Yeah, it's a futuristic cowboy. Yeah, it's not uncommon to have. I mean, we could see essentially with Cyberpunk. This is a pretty common thing in, Cyberpunk. I don't know. Apex Legends continues to, carry on pretty strong. You see here, their Apex Legends Mayhem launch trailer shows off Fuse, the game's newest legend. And Kings Canyon is getting a new makeover. Apex Legends Season 8 is called Mayhem, and if the launch trailer is any indication, it won't have any trouble living up to the name. The trailer, which developer Respawn Entertainment published Thursday, gives a glimpse of the arrival of an explosive expert, Fuse, the Apex game's newest legend. In the trailer, Fuse is making his grand entrance to the game by hosting a giant party in Kings Canyon. He flies up a massive ship of the island with music and fireworks, blah, blah, blah. As all this destruction seems to leave a huge portion of the island in ruins, which might be where we find the next season. Apex Legends has done an okay job sticking around and keeping a player base. But February is going to be an interesting time. It's going to be when a lot of new games are starting to ramp up, and whether or not this negative press, this isn't going to hurt the game whatsoever. I'd like to see, even if it was purely accidental, Respawn could probably make some cosmetic changes, or hey, maybe just shout out this other game down the road or something like that. I'll be interested in seeing what you think in the comment section down below. Do you think it was a direct rip? Do you think there's really any action here that Bulletville can actually do? Or do you think that this is just another derivative generic design and it was bound to happen anyway? I'll be interested to hear and read all of your replies. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.